Crocodilians are some of the most successful and adaptable critters on the planet, but why are they not found in Europe? After all, Europe has countless rivers and lakes, as well as many potential prey animals and prey humans. So what's the deal? Are there environmental factors at play, or is human intervention to blame? What would happen if these legendary predators were introduced to European ecosystems? These are some of the questions we're going to be answering in today's video. So without further ado, let's get started. Croc biology. Crocodiles are large reptiles that belong to the Crocodilia order alongside gharials, caimans and alligators. Apart from a few physical and geographical differences, crocodilians are pretty much the same. Big carnivorous water lizards. This order of animals has been around for at least 80 million years, meaning they lived alongside late Cretaceous giants like the T-Rex and Triceratops. How they survived the extinction events that wiped out the dinosaurs is unclear, but the toughness modern species show might be part of the reason. Another pillar of crocodilian success is their opportunism and physicality. These reptiles are cunning and intelligent, traits that match up well with their incredible power and speed. They can ambush prey or chase it down in the water. All species have streamlined bodies, webbed feet, and powerful tails for propulsion and agility in the water. Tails also help crocodilians to leap out of the water to snatch unsuspecting prey. They also eat a wide variety of prey. They eat everything from mollusks, worms and bugs to rodents, birds, monkeys, ungulates, pets, livestock and human beings. The Nile crocodile, one of the most feared crocodilians, is the #1 human-killing vertebrate in Africa and the second killer animal overall behind the mosquito. Despite their massive mouths and teeth, they are not all that greedy. They have very slow metabolisms that allow them to go weeks and even months without eating. Modern herpetologists and paleontologists agree that this particular trait may have made the difference during the fallout of the doom of the dinosaurs. We also have to talk about crocodilians' thermoregulation. Like most reptiles, they are cold-blooded or ectotherms. Unlike you, me, and other warm-blooded or endotherm creatures, ectotherms do not generate their own body heat. To stay warm, endotherms use fur, hair, fat, blubber, or jackets to retain it. Ectotherms, on the other hand, have to manage their body heat situation manually. For crocodilians, this is usually a cycle of basking in the sun and moving to the water or shade to cool down. They are often seen basking with gaping jaws, which seems to be a clear threat. However, this behavior is a cooling measure, much like panting for dogs and cheetahs. Mud wallowing is another way to cool down. Crocodilians are evolved from creatures that could live in both fresh and salt water. Some modern species still have built-in salt-excreting glands on their tongues. This natural desalination is likely a key reason behind the wide distribution of crocodilians. Where do crocodilians live? Crocodilians mostly live within the tropics. We also have American alligators and crocodiles found in the southeastern US and the extremely endangered Chinese alligators that exist outside the tropics. Crocodilians live and thrive throughout Africa, Southern Asia, Oceania, and South America. The saltwater crocodile is the most adaptable distribution-wise, ranging from Australia to India and many places in between. They live in and very close to different bodies of water, though they don't really live in the sea full-time. Rivers, lakes, swamps and ponds are the main habitats, and different species have nuanced preferences for things like water temperature range, flow speed, depth, and alkalinity. You've also probably heard about crocs or gators living in big city sewer systems. Such sightings have been reported, but these are likely urban legends. Crocodilians wouldn't survive long in such conditions because of the toxicity and lack of sun. As cold-blooded animals, crocodilians are entirely at the mercy of their environments. Even their eggs require certain temperature ranges to hatch. Why are there no crocodiles in Europe? Well, the short answer is thermoregulation. Europe is simply too cold to sustain crocodiles or any other crocodilians. That said, it is theoretically possible for crocodilians to survive summers on the continent. Summer months like June and July can get very hot and have plenty of rainfall, both of which are great conditions for these reptiles. They would bask and frolic to their scaly heart's content, catching all sorts of animals and maybe the odd human swimmer. However, problems would arise when the seasons shifted. Autumn in Europe would be a serious challenge for these animals, as temperatures can be as low as 30 or 40 degrees Fahrenheit, even during the day. This is not ideal for large reptiles, and even less so for their eggs. Winter is even worse. In Europe, temperatures drop below freezing. Water bodies like lakes may even freeze up. Some potential prey animals migrate to warmer climes or hide away during hibernation. Winter months in Europe are long, usually stretching from mid-November to late February or early March. Additionally, because it is well into the northern hemisphere, Europe doesn't get much daylight in winter. Some parts of the continent can get as little as 3 or 4 hours of sun per day in winter, and the sun they do get is pretty much just for light and does virtually nothing to raise temperatures. In such conditions, crocodilians would suffer and die. There is simply not enough sun for them to thermoregulate and counter the extreme cold. The parts of the world that have crocodiles do get cold, but never as cold as it can get in Europe. Additionally, these tropical zones still get plenty of sun throughout the year, meaning they can always thermoregulate. Let's look at the Nile crocodile, for example. Nile crocs are well adapted to the summer-winter cycles in Africa. Summer is the hotter, rainy season that builds up rivers and other water bodies, attracting migrating prey like wildebeest and zebra. When these animals drink or cross these waters, the crocs nab some and gorge themselves. When winter, which is also the dry season, comes, these water bodies dry up. Migrating animals move away, and times may get lean for the crocodile. However, Nile crocs can endure these fairly short winters thanks to their slow metabolisms and preying on animals desperate to drink in croc-infested waters. Relocating a Nile croc to Europe presents at least 2 problems. The first is that there are not enough large animals to support populations of Nile crocs. The only big animals in Europe are deer, pigs, bears, and maybe wolves. Other than that, crocs would likely have to prey on pets, livestock, or people. Africa, in contrast, has dozens of antelope species, wildebeest, buffaloes, zebra, pigs, and primates, as well as livestock and people. Super large animals like hippos or elephants occasionally die in or around water bodies, providing hearty feasts for the reptiles to build up their dry season reserves. The second problem is that winter in Europe would be too long for the crocs. Even if, by some miracle, a croc survived months of freezing winter, it would likely be too weak to hunt decent-sized prey by the time warmer seasons rolled around. Crocs would need a dramatic adaptation to live in Europe. One such adaptation is developing smaller bodies and therefore lowering caloric demands. Europe doesn't have any large reptiles at all. The largest reptile on the continent is the bird, egg, and rodent-loving ocellated lizard, which is about the same size as a baby alligator. That said, there are parts of Europe that fulfill at least half of crocodilians' environment food equation. The Scottish Isles, for instance, are famously overrun with deer because of zero predators. The Isles would be perfect for crocodilians if they weren't too cold. Then we have southern European countries along the Mediterranean. Here, the climate is very warm like the tropical zones. Unfortunately, there are few wild prey animals to support crocodilians. Crocodilians have evolved and adapted over tens of millions of years to thrive in the tropical and subtropical regions they dwell in specifically. It is just not possible for them to survive and reproduce outside these zones. On that note, we've reached the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching, and please let us know what you think in the comments. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel to help it grow. Also, hit the notification bell to keep up with new uploads and never miss out on awesome animal content. Thanks again and see you next time.